Welcome to Motivation Central, the elite training center for your mind.
All right, we good now, y'all?
Yeah, we good.
All right, this is good. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. Let me pull up some of my notes. All right, let's get it going. Welcome, everybody. This is Maestro Turner checking in, aka Stro did it. And we in the building, the virtual building. We all going through it. You going through it. I'm going through it. We going through it. So let's grow through it. It's the quarantine life, and we in here. I got my co-hostess with the mostest, Jazzo. What up?
Good morning.
Hey, we in here. And I had to bring them back because y'all already know it was crazy chemistry. It's crazy chemistry every time we do our thing because we kindred spirits. So I had to bring in my man, Survey, in the building.
Yes, sir.
Lego. Let the fireworks bring out.
Shalom, peace.
The man is in the building.
Peace. And
You
more.
already know. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You know, that's what we want.
All day.
We want clarity, you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Lot going on, Survey. What have you been peeping? Just the last, you've been sending me some good stuff, What have you been peeping out here? We'll start there and then we'll let it organically flow.
Absolutely. Let me give all perfect praise to the Elohim, the Most High, the Supreme of all supreme. Want to say Assalamu alaikum, Shalom Wadu, Namaste, and all greetings of peace. Thank y'all for having me. Sis, bro.
Yes, sir.
Man, I've been peeping this is all about probabilities. People talk about space-time continuums and traveling and time travel.
I've been hearing a lot about
it. It boils down to probabilities. So we're watching all the possible probabilities play out for how this thing is gonna manifest and how we're gonna shake out into this. So I'm watching all the possibilities happen. I've been peeping all the possible probabilities happen. I've seen the best and worst in people. We're seeing the best in humanity and the worst in humanity simultaneously at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
And that's what we're watching.
Like you said, the hive mentality. Like it's been some hive.
Oh yeah, there's
what?
People are picking their hives. Bees are going to their hive tribes. You have the fear hive, you have the futurist hive, you have the peace hive, you have the love hive, you have the hoard hive who want to hoard things.
Yo, I didn't even think about that. The hoard hive.
Yeah.
The hoard hive.
You have the hoard hive that every people are hoarding whatever they think is essential to their,
Hey, let me tell you something, Streets. Sharmageddon is real, bro. Sharmageddon is real, bro. It's coming.
Come on, man. Sharmageddon, man. Man, let me tell you, man, like I said, it goes back to probabilities. Me being a more scientist, I actually had toilet paper and paper towels and seeds and, just all the essentials. I had these things you gotta ask my wife. I had these things in my house already, way prior to this. Mm-hmm. Not because I'm a hoarder, not because I'm scared, but at the end of the day, I'm a scientist. And when you're able to look at, it's like Doctor Strange in Avengers Endgame. In Infinity War, Doctor Strange went into the future with Time Stone, quote unquote future, and he looked at all the possible probabilities, and there's only one probability for them to come out of this, out of all of them with Thanos. So you can do that mentally right here in the present, right now. We can time travel through our mind. Like I always say, when you're getting off work and you're driving home. And you're thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner, everything you have to do as soon as you get in the house. You're visually doing that with your mind. So guess what? You're time traveling. You're actually doing it because you're doing it in your mind. We don't have to get so stuck in material reality where if it's not physically happening, it doesn't exist. We have it.
You let somebody tell you it's imagination.
Exactly. Imagination is the real reality. It's just imagination takes away the power. You say imagination, most people think Disney and makeup. No. We're talking about the imagination. We're talking about the nation of creators. Message.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold up now. Hold up.
Sheesh.
Hold up. The I. Hold on. Wait. One more time.
I, Magi Nation. I, Magi Nation.
Okay.
Now,
Teaching
Magi means magic, right? The word Magi literally spells out magic. And then you have I, Magi Nation. So you have the self magic nation of everybody. So it's like Harry Potter. It's like Harry Potter school.
Streets be dropping, bro.
I'm done already.
He be coming through.
He
be coming through, bro. That was dope.
I'm just
that is dope.
I'm done.
Yeah. Go ahead, sis.
I think I also thinking third eye. Like,
it all corresponds. It all correlates. The narrative been sewn into and woven into the fabric of our life and our existence. Everything that we're gonna do, the Most High, the Elohim already knows. It don't matter. It doesn't really matter what decision we make. The Most High already knows what decision we're gonna make, and that is mind bending. That is mind bending. It stretches the mind to the point it has to humble you to say, you know what, I'm controlling my ship, but I don't control the atmosphere. I don't control the air. I don't control the weather. So I make my ship to navigate through these elements and these conditions. I'm in control of my vessel, but I don't own the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And once you realize that, that's when you can start to crack open the chest of peace, of true peace, not like fake peace, like I'm trying to pretend like I'm happy and everything's all good. Like, I really have like a reassuring energy about my existence because I understand now, so.
That's what I said. I've been saying on the last two podcasts. If you can't go outside,
go inside.
Go outside. People, cognitive, critical thinking is not. Critical thinking is a superpower in this society because people here,
we on the same.
I mean, you have to critically think. Nobody said you couldn't go outside. We said social distance. We didn't say you can't go outside and be outside. You can stand outside on your front porch, on your back patio. You can go, to a park or whatever's available where you can social and you can be outside.
Right.
I just went to the park yesterday.
Come on now.
Stro was there. Me and Stro ended up at the same park yesterday. So
same
time, same park.
Come on.
But like, I think people, it's like they that gray area. Like if you don't spell it out for certain people, they just don't.
And that's and this is why people are scared of freedom. This is why we are sitting here fighting for freedom, but we're fighting. Some of the people that are claiming to fight for freedom, they really don't want it. It's a ruse. So there's actually wasted energy, because, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you need direction in your life in regards to somebody telling you where to be, what to do, how to grow, what goals you should have, hey, that's on you. A lot of us, we can do that within ourselves. We can self-govern ourselves. And that's why I wrote my book, because it's like, you have to know your purpose, or at least know what you're gifted at and what you're passionate about, because you need a navigation system in this existence, or you're going to be wandering at sea,
Yeah.
We had a full out discussion with the past guest, and it was just like, people cannot critically think.
Not at all.
It is, but here's the thing. I know where it starts because I remember when I first started the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody told me how to brush my teeth, told me where the color in the lines. Like, this is my paper. How you gonna tell me where the color? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, just they kill your creativity at pre-K, bro. Not even in kindergarten. They start killing it pre-K.
Yeah.
They kill it at daycare.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I remember asking my dad, what's that in the sky? Like, I used to think the sun and the moon was the same thing. I thought it turned around at night. And my dad explained to me. And so the first thing the church told me was, don't question God. The first thing I asked my daddy was a question. And you telling me to talk to God like you're my daddy. So which one is it?
Right.
Or do you just not have the sauce for what I'm asking?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and so when I first started critically thinking, bro, I hit this place where, okay, let's first go through the sheep, because I really want people to understand, how to evaluate. Because they said a fish don't know it's in water.
Exactly.
It only knows it's in water till you take it out.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm just trying, bro.
I'm
trying to free somebody. Hold on. So here you go. So I remember thinking that, for real, I remember when I was in first grade through fifth, during that time period, very young, very dumb. So well, I wouldn't say dumb because we more clairvoyant then than we are now. But thinking that teachers were actually teachers. Like I thought the principal was a principal. Like that title was all they could be. Like if I saw, I remember what broke my paradigm. I seen one of my teachers with a 6-pack in the grocery store. I'm like, oh, like it blew my paradigm, bro. Blew my paradigm. This dude told me not to do drugs. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
man, he's like,
you do it
man.
just. It's Miller time. It's Miller time. It's all
Miller time.
It's Miller time. Hey,
So-
yo.
But you know what?
That's-
I'm thinking about it now. Like, I think even for me, like you as a child, you look at your teachers like these superheroes, like we said with
Exactly.
like how people look at celebrities, like they're not human, they don't have a life outside of this. But as a child, that's how you see your teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So to see them in this human
it
element,
can break the paradigm.
yeah, to see them in this human element is like, hold on, wait a minute, you go to Walmart too?
yeah, facts.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping this is doing, Streets. I hope that this situation is breaking a lot of people's paradigm enough for them to take their head and dip it out the pool and just say, oh,
Hey.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, one thing
I think
about
this is a
it,
good
man,
thing.
one thing about me, man, like this is a part of my purpose. I mean, I wrote my whole book is based on your life's purpose. So that has to have some type of inclination that, you know, that I have stumbled upon or have, you know, had revealed to me my purpose. So for me to break codes and crack open paradigms is a part of my purpose. I'm not here to play no games, you know what I'm saying? Because like y'all know, we family, you know what I'm saying? Like
game over.
game over, yo. Like when we met, I mean, like we had some of the greatest power circles from all levels of conversation, from all walks of life, you know what I'm saying? And we built from there. But y'all know I ain't playing no games because, you know, like just like any time traveler, somebody who can see the matrix, see the playing field, go through all the probabilities like Dr. Strange and come back and tell people. You're gonna tell people vital information. You're not gonna really do too much fluffing because there's a mission, there's an objective, there's something that has to be accomplished.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so it's like, let's not get too laxated. We're even when this ends, if it ends or how it ends, it doesn't matter because you're still gonna have a great population who are going to try to go back to normal. You know what I'm saying? And
I know that's facts,
people are going to
bro.
get laxated again. People are going to be like, oh, back to their old habits. And then guess what? The next time something happens, it won't be that test run. It's the real deal. And you're not ready. And this time you're out. You know?
Right.
Bro, yo, Timon told us one time, he said, he told us on the file session, it was incredible. He's like, one day I woke up and he's like, I don't know if I woke up too fast and you know, system couldn't catch up with me. I don't know what happened, but all I know is when I woke up, I saw the numbers going up and down, and then it started to fade into what we know is reality. He says the most incredible experience he ever had, and that's from that version he knew. Oh, okay. This might be
No,
too
it's
heavy
not
for some of
heavy.
y'all,
I
but
mean,
he was like, okay, this is a
you-
simulation.
yeah.
No, not for you. I'm
Oh,
talking about the listeners, bro. We got listeners from all walks of life, so I'm not gonna try to hit people like they. Yeah. I'm trying to catch them where they at. He was like, he saw the Matrix, bro.
Man.
And I'm not gonna say believe that. I honestly know that's possible because I've had some weird. I'm not gonna say weird, but like just the whole I'm using air quotes over here, but witch riding your back thing.
Right.
I've had that happen.
Right.
And that's a very, especially because I was a child, so it was a very outer body experience.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can put it. Like
It's surreal.
I
It's like
explain it
surreal
to the adults.
It's like
that, and then I couldn't explain to the adults, and I'm like, they gonna think I'm crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to be about 10, maybe. Be about 10, and I remember being on the bed and I'm sleeping, but I'm laying like on my stomach, but I couldn't move, and I could open my eyes and I could see around me, but I can also see myself from a different angle laying on the bed. It was the weirdest thing ever. I swear, the weirdest experience I've ever had in my life. It happened again as an adult too, but the first experience, I was maybe like 10, and it was so scary. I was trying to scream, everything, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do anything.
When everybody gets time, this is an exercise for everybody to do, me included, because I do this and I just did this yesterday. Start making it a daily exercise, if not daily, weekly, or every other day. But go to one of your favorite mirrors and just start looking at yourself in the mirror without trying to blink, without trying to think, even though you're still gonna have thoughts. But try Just look at yourself in the mirror. Do it with the lights out. You can do it with the lights on, but preferably do it with the lights out or with a little bit of light where you can kind of see yourself, but you're not seeing yourself full spectrum. Or if you want to do a full spectrum, you can do it that way as well, because it just depends on your genetics. But anyway, look in the mirror, start doing them looking yourself in the mirror exercise. I'm talking about real close. Get as close as you can to looking at yourself. And just look at yourself in your eyes. Look at just focus on yourself and watch.
About like a foot from the mirror, or like right up on the mirror? Because I did it before. You told me to do this before.
Yeah, I would say do it. You don't have to do it. I would say do it like, let's see here. The mirror's right here. Yeah, about a foot or a hand's length away from the mirror. Where you're real close. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Should you stare into your own pupils? Because that's what I've tried.
You don't have to stare into your pupils. You want to take in the energy. You're not looking at anything. You're looking at everything. And in order to do that, you have to get into a space where you're not thinking like a human. Like, yo, I'm me looking at me. Just be still and present to the moment and the energy that's permeating between you and the vision in front of you. And it's gonna become fluid to the point where it becomes like water. It's like you're in a fishbowl. You're gonna see the cosmic ocean, and then you may even start metamorphosizing and changing. And
that's what I started seeing. And I was like,
yeah, people get scared at that point. Once you start metamorphosizing,
I ain't scared no more. You remind me. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Once
today.
You start metamorphosizing,
I'm about to do it today too.
Do it.
But you can't be afraid though, because as soon as I started to see my body do this little like change, and I was like,
that's when most people. That's when you know. That's when you're really cracking the paradigm open, because you'll start to get a little scared. Like, I just metamorphosized, and I like, you know what I mean, like 1,000% metamorphosized. Like, I can't even put it in words. You know what I'm saying? Like, to nobody. It's only an experience for you.
So this is gonna be something challenging for me, because I don't know why, but the other day I was just staring at myself in the mirror, right? But I can't look at myself without laughing.
Hey,
I don't know.
Jazz, that's a part of the exercise. Trust and believe. Don't worry about what the reactions are. Don't worry about what happens. Just keep practicing.
Yeah.
Just, if you don't do it every day, do it every other day. But do it.
Okay.
Make it a repetitious exercise, whatever works for you. But start looking at yourself more in the mirror. Do it at day. Do it at night.
I mean, I've been laughing at you for years. So. Just saying, it's okay for you to do it too. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I had to.
Man, that's love. That's real love. That's real love. What you call that?
Bruh.
Yes, sir.
No, but for real though, like, I'm too goofy, so I was just looking at myself. I think it was yesterday. It might have been yesterday, the day before. And I don't know what brought me to the mirror, but I was just staring at myself, and I just bust out laughing. I was like, what in the world?
Nah, we all used to roast each other in high school, so she already knows. She got the
man, you gotta be goofy, man. You gotta. That's part of divinity, man. You know, I'm goofy as hell. My wife is super serious. I'm the goofy one, so it's like she'd be like, "Yo, what in the world?" I'm like, I gotta get it out here because I can't be goofy in the real world. I gotta stay focused. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You balance her out with that, because I'm the more goofy one with Angie. Right. Now she gets goofy, but naturally she's the more serious one. Calm down. I'm the Virgo out there in your face.
You know, I'm Gemini. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very everywhere. I'm a floater. You know what I'm saying? I'm elusive. I'm an air sign.
We done had a couple dope Geminis on here, bro. Like I'm
Jimmy gang.
Y'all killing this season.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I'm a Taurus, and I don't think it has anything to do with the
No. My wife is a Taurus too. I already know. My wife is a Taurus, so.
Yo, me and female Tauruses have always made good friends.
No, because Taurus.
Shout out to Aquila. We used to be homies back in high school.
Taurus and Virgos be like that. I'm serious. Like,
all of
my good friends are Virgos. I don't know what it is.
It's a lot.
Wow.
All of my closest friends are Virgos.
My mom is a Virgo and my wife is a Taurus, and they love each other like that. Like they.
I'm telling you, it's something about it. I don't know the Taurus Virgo thing. I don't know what.
One thing about y'all Tauruses though, y'all about y'all money, y'all grounded, y'all about family, y'all loyal, but y'all don't take no.
I'm goofy, but once that smile going,
exactly. It's about to be a problem. The Bulls, bro, I got a my great grandmother when she passed away. When we was moving stuff from out of her house, right, and she had these two ornaments. one ornament was like a gold-plated bull, like the bull that you see in New York on Wall Street, like that bull, but it's in gold.
Yeah.
And the other one,
like the Merlin Lynch.
Yeah, the Merrill Lynch bull. She had it like an ornament. And the other one was like a bird. It was like just big, elegant bird. And like I'm like, babe, that's crazy that my great grandmother has this, because it's like this is like representing us. Like you the bull, I'm the bird. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like wow.
Right.
So I got it in my room now. And I wake up to it every day.
Fire.
She knew. It's all connected.
She knew.
Back to the paradigm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you really think about. People think coincidences exist. There's no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing.
Talk about
There's no
it,
such thing. And if there is a coincidence, it's just the universe coinciding for your favor.
Right.
It's coinciding for you. Coincidence is coinciding.
Message.
So you gotta look at it's like, man, look how everything is perfectly connected. And the thing, if I don't say anything on here, the most important thing I do want to say is stop giving people your power. To the listening audience, stop giving people your power. Stop giving Trump your power.
That might have been.
Stop
For me.
Stop giving China your power. Stop giving the coronavirus your power. Stop giving, this doctor your power. Stop giving the CDC your power. Whoever, stop giving people your power, man. Let me tell you something. There is no human being, there's no organization, there's no secret group that can design everything that's happening the way that it's happening with the timing that it's happening. There's no human, there's no being that could do that besides the most supreme, the grand architect of it all.
Message.
How? How can Marsh do all of this by himself? How can the Illuminati do all this by themselves?
Say T-Man, man. Say T-Man.
How can the T-Man do, how can that guy Biff, from Back to the Future, how can he be? No.
Yeah.
Everybody plays a part. We all play a part. Collectively, we all play a part. We all are pieces of the puzzle. So, anybody that you can blame, you're just as responsible as they are. So we have to take our ownership and responsibility back first. That's where your power lies.
Message.
That's a fact.
You know what, Survey? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it on record publicly for the first time, but I've been saying this with my circle. You wouldn't dare, nobody in America, nobody in any soldier would dare mess with any Muslim country around.
Facts.
Why is that? Because they
no game.
Mess. You see what I'm saying? And so if people keep killing black people,
exactly,
it's because we allow it. You know what I'm saying? If black people killing black people or blue killing black, it don't matter. The life don't matter, because if it mattered, the same way they approach Islam. Any Islamic country during Ramadan is the same way they'll treat us. If we made it such a thing, if we made it such a thing that the next person that died from this,
that's facts.
You know what I'm saying? Bro. All hell break loose. That it wouldn't another one die. It'd be the same exact treatment as the when you see, the other hue that when they get they start snapping. I pay my taxes. We'll be able to do the same thing if we made it such a horrible situation for that next death.
See,
it's just what you said.
See, but the thing about that is it's going to require unity. And as a people, we don't unite like we're supposed to. So, if we could get past that on our own, like as you know what I'm saying, if we could get past that, then that would be a thing. But as a people, we don't. We can't even have the conversations without going at each other's tops.
Talk that real talk. That's real.
Like
and to build on what Sis just said, on top of that, we have the reason we can't unify is because the opposition has strategically ripped up our identity. We don't know who we are. So if you don't know who you are, you can't unify because you don't know what you're unifying with.
Message.
Still think
exactly, and that was done on purpose.
You
the
really
reason that we went from we went from Indians to Negroes to blacks to African Americans to Afro
American. Yep.
It'll be something else, and people will accept it because.
Afro was better than black. Like,
right.
You
Exactly.
a crayon. I ain't no crayon.
So
bro.
in 20 years, it'll be something else. They may be calling them, might go to it's minority right now,
they love to do the melanated
right
ones.
right
They love to say melanated, but
right,
that's
I definitely
still
like
better than black.
melanated. I like melanated
I
because
ain't no
it's a
color,
scientific
bro.
term. Yeah, so if we're going scientific,
I like that.
but ultimately it's to one, like what I just say, stop giving people your power. You never want to let anybody classify you and identify you. If you can't classify or identify yourself, then you're subject to be classified or identified by somebody else. Period.
Message.
We just got some millennial followers. Thanks, sir, babe.
No labels.
They love that. No labels.
Stop labeling me.
So look, this is my thing, y'all. Because this morning I actually watched this little it was something on Instagram, like one of those stories. And the conversation at hand was the colorism within our community, right? And just how lighter African American people are treated differently from darker African American people. But we couldn't even, they couldn't even have that conversation.
Facts. Without it being derailed.
So, I'm like, if we can't even have these small conversations within ourselves without, how do we get past
you cannot you get past it by, first off, you have to take a lot of schools of thought. You have to take all the pieces of the puzzle to put it together, and that's the only way to do it. You have to take every piece of the puzzle. You have to study every school of thought. You really have to study history, because even with ancient Egypt, and this is another exercise that people can do. If you have Disney Plus, there's a new Disney Plus series. It's about King Tut. They go back and it's for the first time they take all of King Tut's possessions and they bring it all together. It got discovered 3,000 years ago, and they brought all of his treasures together, because all the pharaohs, their tombs were robbed, except for King Tut. King Tut was the only pharaoh that they found with all his stuff intact, and that's because the tomb he was in was not really for him. So people just passed by it because it looked like a little, BS tomb. Like no king would be in there. All the pharaohs have super big tombs, and because King Tut wasn't in his original tomb, people just passed over. But anyway,
right, you gonna finish that thought? It's crazy how bold they are with handling this stuff. Because do you know how many tomb raiders were or haven't been addressed in history?
Absolutely.
It was cursed. If you're not supposed
to touch
soil
is cursed now.
So
that's
crazy.
The whole narrative of what we're talking about, and we're gonna get to that point.
I wouldn't even touch it.
We're gonna get to that point, but
go ahead, bro.
In there they reveal that Tut had he had physical abnormalities due to his family not wanting to procreate outside of their bloodline. So they pretty much had incest, and each generation under got worse and worse. So King Tut was Akhenaten's son. But the point is, we glorify all of this stuff in history, whether it be ancient or semi-modern, when we don't even have all the true facts of what really went down. We're just taking people's version of history, just like we do with religion. We take people's accounts of ancient, we take people's accounts of ancient happenings. It's a big game of telephone. Telephone in school, when you line up all the kids and you tell the first kid something and whisper it in the ear, and by the time it gets to the last kid, everybody has to whisper it, and by the time it gets to the last kid, it's a whole entirely different phrase.
It's wrong.
It's wrong, way wrong. It started off as
It started. I got the sauce.
It won't even have sauce in it. It'll be for like you said. I have the sauce, and it end up as a grizzly bear in North Dakota. Like what? So that's what history is. You got to go back through the line and say, okay, it was right there. It was right there. It was wrong here. It was wrong here. It was wrong here. Why does? And they go through that and break down like why they try to erase King Tut out of history. And I mean, it's a lot of dots that be connected, but it's just a point of,
yo, we got to do that. So we interview Mimi. We dropping her joint before this dropout, so they'll be out there. We got to do knowledge of self again. We gonna play telephone at every beginning of knowledge of self. It just hit me. Knowledge of self. When we do our meetings,
hey, look,
start
man.
On first Fridays again, bro.
Hey, look, and let's turn up because
they want
put this. You can edit this part. You can edit this and put it in the beginning. I don't care where you put it, but look, put the people on. Look, we gotta hold on. Peace. Look, it's about energy. It's about reciprocity, you know. So the Cash App is Sirbey, $SIRBEY. You know, at the end of the day, we have to share energy with each other. And I'm not saying you just have to send me money or anything like that, but I'm saying if you got a couple dollars, send it. It's like I'm giving this information, you know, because at the end of the day, this is from my own personal experience, my own personal studies. This isn't no, you know, I don't have any biases. I'm not trying to lead anybody any specific direction, but within themselves, to be their greatest version of themselves and have the best relationship with the Creator that they can, because that's how I'm living my life.
What's great, family? This is your man Frank. The Pulse series is brought to you by Motivation Central, the elite training center for your mind. Take some time, go visit patreon.com, search for Motivation Central, and that's where you can see everything that we have to offer, even outside of this podcast. And just because I know how much of a impact this would have on your life, I want to give it away to you for free for a month. So patreon.com, Motivation Central. All right, family, peace.
Eat the chicken, throw away the bones, and give that man his cash out. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong. I be talking about, I'm like, yo, that other the everybody else outside of us melanated people, we on some
right.
We don't want to give to each other, but they support each other. I'm looking at them like they'll pay $300 an hour for each other, but
not even
they look
just
at us.
that. Not even just that, our melanated people be so quick to down each other and then support the other people. Like quick. Like if they go to a different type of business,
they'll say how much.
They'll say how much. Something could happen.
It's a hookup with us, though.
Something could happen, and then it'll maybe get resolved down the line, and they good. They come to us. They ask how much. They get a hookup. Something happens. This is a horrible company.
Talking a lot of slang.
To look out. Everywhere. Horrible company.
Yeah.
I've never had this experience with da-da-da-da-da.
Yep.
I'm not shopping with black people no more. What?
Exactly. But it goes back to identity, because right now we're not even focusing on our identity. Our identity. What's going on with our people are we stuck in classism. You got the the quote unquote blacks or African Americans or melanated people who are affluent, well off, and like, yeah, I'm African American, I'm black, but I'm not like them though. Like I ain't, hey, and I understand there's different levels of that. And then you have the people who are unfortunate who point the finger like, oh, you're successful, you're supposed to dun. And then in the middle of that, you have that middle class like, yo, I went to go try to support and I had I had an expectation and it didn't happen. Now this is a horrible service. It goes back to identity. Right. Our people, we don't know who we are at the end of the day. So we have so many subgroups and subcategories and sub-tribes and cliques and gangs and associations that it's like, the unity aspect, it's going to take a divine intervention for that to happen, because we are some hard-headed people.
Yeah, but I mean, I like you said, it comes back to us not knowing ourselves, and I think that family dynamic that all of us crave. So we try to find that place within. We try to find that family, that unity, that tribe.
Right. And then when you find it, it's y'all against the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. And that's where we're at right now, because and we're doing it. I'm not, not on the flip side of the coin. There are a lot of people that are coming together. With me, my organization, we're more Science Temple. I mean, we're with the NOI, and then with the NOI, you got the FOI, and then you got the Nations of Gods and Earth, and all these brothers be coming together and on all levels. I see it; it's beautiful. And then you got Christians working with Muslims, and you got Moors working with Christians, and you got Jews and Hebrews. It's happening, because ultimately it's going to take the best of each nation. The only issue is our people. We don't have a nation, where we keep saying we're black, but there's no recognition or no weight in that. There's no nationality in that, so ultimately we have to come to an agreement of this is who we are. If we're going to say we're the melanated peoples of whatever, or we're going to say we're Moors or Moorish Americans, or if we're going to say we're the Nubians, or whatever we decide, we got to stick with it and nationalize it and keep moving.
It's got to be everybody.
Right. And I mean, I think that comes back to like each one teach one. Like people, like you got to sit and you got to have these conversations. It's not saying what you're saying is wrong,
right,
or what I'm saying is right. It's just let's come to the common ground. Let's come to the common ground. Let's set a common goal And then from there, you just work from there. But people don't.
But what does Scripture say? Scripture even tells us that everybody ain't gonna make it. You know, I mean, there's but 9 billion people on this planet. You know, and Scripture only talks about a small percentage of people. You know, so I mean, like, come on, man.
The Walking Dead.
Come on, man. I mean, out here, you see the hive mind again. You see the hive, how quick the hives are easily influenced and turned up. You know what I'm saying? It don't take much. It don't take much for the ungrounded, for people who don't have control of their vessels. Because when your vessel, if you're not in the passenger or pilot seat of your vessel, then you're susceptible for outside influence to come take your vessel. And then you have other entities, whether it be spiritual, mental, physical, that come take over your vessel, and people turn into crash dummies out here. And we see it. It's more evident. I mean, golly, I seen a person with a computer screen over their head for a mask somewhere. I was like, how stupid.
Bruh.
It's getting ugly.
Oh, God, man. But that, you know, it goes back to, look, family, get outside, get in nature, go do meditation, get your breaths, take your nutrients, your vitamins, have meaningful conversations, exercise, set a productive curriculum for yourself, study, read, clean your house, a spring cleaning, start a garden, clean up, rearrange your furniture, try a new haircut, learn a new skill, start an e-business. There's so much you can do. People who say they're bored, they don't have a purpose. They don't have a navigational system. That's why you're bored. And idle time is the devil's playground.
Message.
You know, I promise you, you know. Hey.
Well, but you know what? You that's what we were saying. We were saying if you can't go outside,
that's what I
go
mean.
inside. That's what we mean. Like, go inside. Go inside inner self.
This
like,
is the perfect time.
Find out who you are right now.
You don't do it.
It's a great time to go inside.
It's perfect. Everything else in the world is idle right now.
If you don't do, let me tell you this. I'll put money on this. If you don't do it now, you may not get the probability to transcend and evolve, because the paradigms that are coming up now, that are available and ready for the world, I mean, you're going to see stark differences. You're going to see literal utopias versus dystopias, and to the point where it's so separated, where the other has phased out the other, and we graduate to the next stage.
Where is my super suit?
You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Big fact.
I'm ready.
Jetsons. I'm talking Jetsons. Meet Elroy, his boy Elroy, all that. Like, you know, like, let's go. Sir. You know, because at the end of the day, man, this paradigm, the things that are happening now, I've been praying and wishing for and just wanting to happen for years.
You've been talking about this.
I'm like this.
Yeah.
The wheels of the industry.
See, this is the funny part to me, because I can say that too, that I've been praying for this idle, like this idle time worldly. So I feel like
catch up to yourself.
Do what I need.
Catch up to myself.
Yeah,
like, yo, what have I been doing? You gotta evaluate.
It opens your eyes to a lot of different things. Yeah.
And people running from it. They're not doing it. That's why people are committing suicide. People are overdosing. People are robbing, and people are going frantic and having mania events. Like, it's because you have to deal with yourself now. That's why I said earlier, the exercise, look at yourself in the mirror. Try to make that a weekly practice or a daily practice or whatever works for, you know, the audience. Like, for real, you really got to face yourself. It's no coincidence it's 2020. You have to see yourself. You have to. No coincidence.
No coincidence, bro. Somebody said it's 2020 started driving. I'll get out and walk.
One thing about it, when you on a roller coaster, you know, the most scary part is when that roller coaster rises to it clink, 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 clink. It goes to the top, and then it shoots down, and your stomach jumps through your throat. But then after that, it kind of settles, and you realize, like, okay, this is supposed to be wild, crazy, fun ride, but I'm safe, I'm harnessed in, everything looked good, and you start enjoying it. So, no, I don't want to go backwards. Let's shoot forward. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let's go. Like, yo, we gotta, like you said in the beginning of this podcast, you got to go through, to grow through it. You gotta go through it to get to it. You got to.
Facts.
You got to.
Right.
How you gonna know what you made of?
Right.
You know, so it's like people who saying that they scared. They want to go back. Go back to what? This was whack. It was whack before, for real. Like everybody,
definitely. Like
it already is. Like you go to the stores.
Ooh.
I ain't gonna say her name, bro. I was
Come
like,
on,
how
man.
many different twerk videos can you post?
It's super lame. Like Instagram,
It's getting
Instagram is about to
lame,
really
bro.
die out because TikTok done took over,
It's
you know,
twerk
and
city.
TikTok is back to 15 seconds, which proves that the attention deficit is just getting crazier because people don't. If you put a long caption on Instagram, not too many people are really reading the whole caption. I promise you.
They don't read the first line.
Sir.
I promise you.
Yo,
they read the
let
first
me tell
word
you, bro,
and go to the picture. I promise you.
Yep, and I put it at the end of my joint. Yo, I'm giving away $5 today on Cash App. And do you know?
Man, look, two people probably seen it. I mean,
$5.
Two people, like you said, had to call to action, and probably 300 people saw it and didn't even read that far.
They did, yeah. It was a lot of people saw it. I did it in video form so I could see how many people saw it. It was like hundreds of people.
I saw it, and I just wanted to see what you was going to do with it.
Come on, man. So, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, man, as far as on my end, just individually, you got the Cash App, $SIRBEY, and you get my book. Go to Amazon.com. Your gift, your passion, your purpose. On a collective scale, now is the time to link with your tribe, with your nation, and lay down, you know, a curriculum or an objective or a goal, like Jazz was just saying, like Sis was just saying, like, let's come to a common ground and let's achieve this. So, like, if it's just something simple, like, hey, we're going to do this monthly group meeting, and then from there we'll come up with blah blah blah, or hey, we're gonna start a garden and you'll bring this and you whatever, just to test us working together. Because right now, especially in the suburbs, because I live in the suburbs, I would say about 90% of the American population, maybe less, maybe more, doesn't know their neighbor's name.
Facts.
People don't know their neighbors. You don't know your neighbor's name, and we gotta stop that. Go meet your, like me personally, I have great relationships with my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like at least 3 of them out of the 5 that are near me.
Yeah.
You know, so like, yo, we don't even know our neighbors' names. Like, and forget coronavirus. What if we have forget the you know what I'm talking about. Forget the outbreak. But what about hurricane season? What if the power goes out? What about the heat?
Man, let me tell you. I feel like full savage.
Come on. There you go.
Paradigm, they're gonna turn into full savage.
And see, I think that's how most people think. So, like you said, getting to know your neighbor's name is not even a thing to people. Like, so they feel like it's everybody for themselves. So they ain't gonna help me anyway. I don't need to know nobody. If anything was to happen, I'm go get it. And that's how people think. Like, that's just the crazy thing.
Animals running packs, insects running packs.
Facts.
Insects
so you
running
can't.
packs.
You're worse
Animals
than an animal.
do it. So you telling me, come on, man, bro? This nature. That's why I say get back to nature, because like you just said, Stro, and like you just said, Sis, once you start to, like you said, you can sit there and look at an ant colony. You can look at a wolf pack. You can look at a lion tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like a lion pack.
Y'all know what that is, though? That's ego. Because don't nobody.
I said we transition from ego to
right.
eco.
That's what I'm saying. But that's just ego. Because if you think about it, nobody wants to be.
They want to be the leader.
They want to be the alpha. Head. They want to be the top. They want to be the queen. Be the. You know what I'm saying? They want to be at the top. So if I can't be at
all,
the top,
or I
want to
tear it down.
That's not all it's cracked
so
up to
ugly.
be.
It ain't.
That's not all it's cracked up to be the leader, bro.
It's a lot of work to be at the top. But it's also even it's more work. You know what I'm saying? Like working in the community with somebody, man.
Exactly.
You know how much you can get accomplished?
It ain't even the work that people. I think we're not afraid of the work. It's just like I don't think you understand the mental capacity you have to have and the mental.
And that's the thing, like right. And the mental like, aspect it's a lot that very important because we haven't been taught how to use our mind. The brain is the only thing that doesn't come with a manual. Like nobody came with a manual about how your brain works, how you should use it. We haven't even scratched the surface of the power of our mind and how to train it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. A lot of people still can't even grasp the concept of meditation and that your mind can do more than just breathe, think, look, and help you breathe. Yo. Like,
But the numbers are still growing though. I believe that meditation
Facts.
be like it's like what jogging was 20 years ago. If somebody saw you jogging, it was like, well, who chasing you? But now it's a regular thing. I think meditation
everybody
is
can
the new
have their
jogging.
own. You don't have to be sitting Indian style in the grass. Personally, I mean, I do.
Music is my meditation.
Music is yours.
I just
Gardening
start
is
gardening,
mine.
so I just start my garden. And just being out in nature, like you said, gardening, just that is meditation. I mean, ultimately, it's to help train the mind and be able to filter your thoughts and realize that the thoughts that you have, like Bashar says, a lot of the thoughts that you have are not yours. You're becoming a belief thief, and it goes back to the hive mind. Your belief, you're stealing other people's beliefs. And now you're running around and operating in the matrix as if this belief is the ultimate truth.
What's great, family? This is your man Frank. The Pulse series is brought to you by Motivation Central, the elite training center for your mind. Take some time, go visit patreon.com, search for Motivation Central, and that's where you can see everything that we have to offer, even outside of this podcast. And just because I know how much of a impact this would have on your life, I want to give it away to you for free for a month. So patreon.com, Motivation Central. All right, family, peace.
Perfect time to curate and be able to master your mind and build that mind muscle up. And I'm not just talking about your brain, because your brain is the actual physical aspect in your body, but your mind is infinite. Your mind is consciousness. So you have to start to exercise that spiritual and metaphysical muscle as well, because your mind is one of the most powerful tools in your brain. But don't get this twisted. Your heart is more powerful than your mind. So you master your mind through your heart, because your heart is the ultimate intelligence of your body.
Message.
Right. Your heart emits more electromagnetic signal and energy than your brain does. And that's why, the Christ beings are always represented either by their mind, their crown, or by their heart. And, that's why Prophet Yeshua, or as, the masters would call him Jesus, but his true name was Yeshua, is always depicted as his heart is illuminated, or some type of symbology around his heart, because your heart is the ultimate supreme intelligence of the body. So now is the perfect time, man, to master the heart mind, the mind, your brain and your stomach. The things that we eat right now are very important as well, because we're talking about immune systems, and your stomach has an intelligence, and your stomach is a brain as well. Your gut is a brain itself as well. It's an intelligence. So there's a lot of work to be done, man. But most people haven't even started to tap into or even aware of their potential. And that's really what the holdup is. And now is the perfect time. And like I said, after this, you probably are not going to get another window to get to optimal levels. Because like I said, the paradigm is shifted and changed. And, it's go time for real.
Well, I did want you to get one more thing. I want you to talk about because a lot of people don't know that we got to address this. People don't understand that this is interesting, Street. Like we have all these museums that that the Europeans have grabbed and put together, facts. And they're dead people's stuff. And I don't think people understand, because it was 3,000 years ago, it's okay. I don't think people understand how serious that is. Like, it's in a glass, and you better be glad it's in a glass, because you're tampering. Like 895 in Richmond, Virginia, was built on ancient,
as most of America
American
is, absolutely,
burial ground. Like it's so disrespectful. Like, and I just want you to talk about that. Like, the ancients knew that this stuff was going to happen, so they cursed a lot of stuff. A lot of the first people to get to this stuff, they dropped dead on sight when they touched this stuff. And a lot of people don't know that. I just want you to share.
Well, because I've heard, like I said, the Most High is the greatest of planners, the grand architect, because you got to think about it. A lot of the artifacts that they have in Europe and India and parts of America and these museums, a lot of those things are stolen. Absolutely, they're stolen from their homelands and from their native areas. And now, based on the karmic debt, the awareness, new generations, whatever, a lot of these a lot of these things are being reunited at certain times. A lot of these museums are returning these artifacts and these emblems to the original nations and the original tribes and families and kingdoms, because they know what time it is, So at the end of the day, is everybody have that evil intent? A lot of them are just archaeologists who truly want to study and understand ancient man and ancient civilizations and really understand the science and the culture, and they're just ecstatic. And I understand that, but there is a line of respect that you have to keep. So as long as that line of respect is, you shouldn't have any issues. But like you said, a lot of people are there to pillage and plunder. A lot of the treasures were stolen, ransacked. King Tut just happened to have his stuff found because, like I said earlier, he was put in a tomb that really wasn't originally for him. People overlooked it for a long time, and then finally was stumbled upon 3,000 years later.
Right.
But there's treasure in Africa, there's treasure in America, there's treasure everywhere. The whole narrative is the timing of everything. Don't take anything for granted right now. Now was the time to truly understand the time that we're in, because 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 30 years from now, the young generations are going to look back and ask you as a grandfather or a grandmother or a great uncle or whatever. They're going to say, what did you do during the outbreak, or what did you do during this time, or this this started this and this started this. What were you doing? Most people are going to be like, oh, I was watching TikTok videos and making and you have other people like, no, I wrote a book, or man, I discovered this, or I wrote this formula, or I started this group, or I started this new business, or I started this podcast, or whatever, so.
Drake said, where were you when the dogs needed help?
Fact.
Lawyers in the commissary ain't gonna pay itself.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what was you doing? What was you doing? And right now,
shooting
you don't want to be able to. You don't want to have to tell your grandchildren, I was just watching TikTok videos and eating and playing PlayStation. Like, nah, this is the time. If you tapped into what's really going on, But it goes back to genetics too, man. Because just to keep it all the way 100, we're all alike, but nobody is the same. And a lot of us have angelic genes. We truly have angelic genes that have been activated and are activating.
Message.
And we just have different senses. Yeah, the cosmic family. And man, a lot of us are online and coming online. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of this is about as well. So, if you feel a certain way, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're, starting to open your mind up to different possibilities, you're not alone and you're in the right place and you're here for a reason. Definitely, man. I want to thank the family for having me. I'm not gonna hold y'all because I'm gonna be a regular. We're gonna try to do this at least once a month at the least.
And you know what? Next time I'll bring you back. I want to talk about. Well, actually, I want you to teach more. I'll be the advocate. Of course, for the people that are on the baby side of things. But I want you to talk about the story of Enlil and Enki, and I want to address that because a lot of people don't know.
We have a
more detailed version of what we find in Genesis. There's a more detailed version that's thousands of years older that will make you go,
Absolutely.
We don't want to debunk your faith. We just want to give you a
cosmic story, an earth-based cosmic story. The human story is so amazing. I mean, you would have to literally take every sci-fi movie, every action movie. You would have to take if you took every sci-fi movie, every Marvel movie, every action movie, you had to put them all together, and it still wouldn't touch the human story.
I want you to talk about the Dogons. I want to go back there, bro. All right, cool, bro. Well, look, we appreciate you coming through, brother. And as always, thank you. Look, conversations will not be canceled. Relationships will not be canceled. Love will not be canceled. Songs will not be canceled. Reading will not be canceled. Self-care will not be canceled. Hope will not be canceled. May we lean into the good stuff that remains. Jamie Torkowski. We'll see y'all next time.